is it seeing Zeb Coulter and Del Rio now on the same page? Could we see the reforming of an alliance between Del Rio and Jack Swagger, with Zeb Coulter being the representative of them as their manager or their agent, call them what you wish. But it's kind of funny, you know, Del Rio and Zeb in a feud over the internationality of the championship and the way it was being represented. Of course, when he was representing Jack Swagger at WrestleMania a couple of years ago, 2.5 years ago. Now they're on the same page. It's kind of weird, and it's even more strange seeing Del Rio and Zeb rechristening the U.S. Championship as now the Mex-American Championship, representing both countries. I wonder how John Cena feels about that during his time away from the wrestling business. But I think John Cena really needs to take a step back. He kind of needs to really reevaluate his career, enjoy his time off away from the wrestling business. Obviously, Nikki Bella is going to be taking a step back as well coming up over the next couple of months. So both John Cena and Nikki Bella should enjoy their time away from professional wrestling. Nikki Bella just got off holding the Divas Championship for the longest reign in the history of the championship, surpassing the record of AJ Lee, beating that record out by just a few mere days. Call it what you wish. She was able to do that. So I think she's in line for time off as well. So obviously they have to enjoy their time while it lasts. But I mean, what did you expect? After 13 years, John Cena not to be given a single amount of time off. I think it's well deserved. I think it was a long time coming. And I think John Cena should take this time off to definitely rehabilitate, to definitely reevaluate himself, and figure out what he wants to do with his life. It's not like he's gone off on a major injury. It's not like he's going to be gone in the way of a Daniel Bryan when we don't know when he's going to be coming back. I think when he comes back, he's going to be better than ever, and he's going to be more fun to watch. Hopefully he'll come back with some new material, because I know his promos get irritating to a lot of wrestling fans, hearing the same thing said by John Cena on a microphone week in and week out. It's not like a Rock or a Stone Cold Steve Austin. And as I said, you know, the same kind of pattern always seems to repeat itself with John Cena. He wins the championship, loses it within 3 weeks, and wins it back again, and repeats itself over and over again. And as a result, we've seen him hold over 15 championships in his career. The good thing about him being U.S. champion is the U.S. championship is actually becoming something meaningful in professional wrestling, just as the Intercontinental Championship seems to be reestablishing himself as. I think it's great seeing these major championships actually meaning something, because one time, both the U.S. and Intercontinental Championships were used as stepping stones for people like Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I think it's great that both the U.S. and Intercontinental titles are getting back to the forefront. Regardless of who the champions are, they're actually meaningful now, especially the U.S. Championship. And obviously it has a lot to do with how John Cena held that championship. You can put the U.S. title on anybody right now at this point in time, and nobody would make it seem more meaningful than what John Cena did during his reign, especially in the fallout of WrestleMania 31. Look at all the unbelievable matches he had with Rusev in the fall of the WrestleMania 31 I Quit matches, Last Man Standing matches. I mean, it was unbelievable seeing what Rusev and John Cena put themselves through for the U.S. Championship, and what John Cena did at that title, not only with Rusev, with new talent wrestlers like Dean Ambrose, for instance, really putting them over. If not for that match he had with John Cena, Dean Ambrose probably would have never gotten a chance to face Seth Rollins for the championship earlier this year. I think that really showed WWE the potential that goes with Dean Ambrose, and that's why it wouldn't surprise me at all if Dean Ambrose pulled a heel turn and turned on Roman Reigns during his match with Seth Rollins for the championship coming up at the 29th annual Survivor Series, because it is predicted that we're going to see a heel turn either in the match with The Undertaker and Kane facing the Wyatts, and what I think is going to be a Survivor Series elimination match, or in the match between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. We're going to see a heel turn at some point in that match, and we're going to see a superstar really glisten and really be used to his fullest potential in the fallout of what could be the biggest Survivor Series ever. So you can look for that and keep that in the back of your mind, because the chances of that happening are highly likely with how we're heading down the road to WrestleMania 32, which is looking more promising all the time. The Undertaker and Sting match, something going on with probably Seth Rollins and Triple H. So something is going to fall into place for WrestleMania 32. What it is right now, I really don't know, but a heel turn is to be expected, and I think it's just awesome, you know, how people like John Cena, it all goes back to them and what they did for the careers of people like Dean Ambrose and Stardust, and most recently Dolph Ziggler, and how they've been elevating them. Now, Dolph Ziggler obviously is not having really much done with him right now in his feud with Tyler Breeze off of everything that happened with Lana, Summer Rae, and Rusev, and Dolph Ziggler's kind of just in the middle of all this after it happened on TMZ.com, after it happened to be broken as a legit storyline. Of course, that was turned into the wrestling angle, and now obviously they're just trying to rebound off that and give something for Summer Rae and Tyler Breeze and Dolph Ziggler to do. I really wish that Dolph Ziggler had something more promising going for his career right now. A feud with Tyler Breeze really isn't cutting the cake. For me, in my opinion, the icing on the cake for that would be to see someone like Dolph Ziggler rebound this feud with Tyler Breeze and actually go on to amount to something far greater in professional wrestling. But it all goes back to the fault of TMZ breaking this real-life story, of course, which was used for the purpose of a storyline involving the likes of Summer Rae, Dolph Ziggler, Rusev, and Lana. When it was unveiled by TMZ.com, it blew up in our faces that Lana and Rusev were actually engaged. And Lana and Rusev now, as a result of this storyline actually being turned public now, aren't even on television together anymore, and that's kind of weird also. So the whole thing with Dolph Ziggler is just contributing to his downfall, in my opinion, and I really wish that wasn't the case for Dolph Ziggler. But, you know, John Cena taking some time off. Right now we don't know when he's coming back. People have their predictions as to when or how we're going to see John Cena show up, when he's going to show up, why he's going to show up. Obviously, right now, the reasoning for John Cena to come back will be to reclaim his U.S. Championship, a title that he's held time and time again throughout his career. Of course, that was the first major championship he held in his career and really made himself an established name back at WrestleMania 20, defeating the Big Show for his first ever U.S. Championship, which he went on to hold for a number of months before dropping that championship. He held it right up until at least WrestleMania 21 in 2005. That was the last meaningful time he had the U.S. Championship up until now, and he dropped it to Orlando Jordan. And I think he lost it a couple of times to Booker T even before that. So he lost it to names like Booker T, who's obviously a legend in wrestling, and Orlando Jordan, again, to elevate someone like Orlando Jordan. So he's used the U.S. Championship. He knows how to use it and get it over. So to say that John Cena is not going to be U.S. champion anymore, that would be kind of jumping to a conclusion with how he's known how to use that championship to elevate superstars like he most recently did with Del Rio hitting the backstabber from out of nowhere after a phenomenal match. I think we can say that John Cena is going to regain that U.S. championship, because really, what is there left for John Cena to do? With how Sting, of course, broke his neck at the Night of Champions pay-per-view, it's predicted that Sting's not going to be coming back anytime soon, although the neck injury was not as serious as what people initially thought. The doctors reviewed Sting's injury, and apparently Sting is going to make a full recovery and be back sooner than what people initially thought he was going to be out for. So that amount of time Sting is out does not allow Sting to actually do anything big for at least this next couple of months. So obviously John Cena is not going to be having a match with Sting for that championship anytime soon to win his 16th title. So what is there left for him to do? Win the championship back, and obviously John Cena is going to rebound off of all this and probably come back with a victory over Alberto Del Rio. But Del Rio, it's not like Del Rio's unbeatable, and Del Rio's been beat before. We've seen that time and time again. So a superstar like John Cena, you would think, will be able to get one over on Alberto Del Rio, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if it happens 4 to 6 months from now. Regardless of when it happens, 4 months from now, 6 months from now, we will see John Cena reemerge as the U.S. champion, like we've seen so many U.S. champions of the past do. And that's a championship, just to put it into perspective for you, that's been held by everybody from someone like a Sting to a Vader to a Ric Flair. Every legendary name has held that U.S. championship, especially the WWE version of the U.S. championship. Now, John Cena is really making a name for himself at the expense of the title, but again, you know, what is there for John Cena to do? Win another Royal Rumble match and win 3 Royal Rumble matches to join the triple header club of Royal Rumble winners that include the names of, you know, so many great legends. I mean, he doesn't need to do something like that. He doesn't need to headline another WrestleMania. He's done everything humanly possible. And I mean, the guy deserves time off, so we shouldn't choose to come down hard on John Cena for getting some time off, because this is well-deserved time off, and I think this has been a long time coming, and he should just enjoy it, because there are so many superstars who can capitalize on this opportunity with the name and face of WWE being gone for a certain amount of time, which I don't foresee being a long period of time, because with how John Cena has been gone away from the wrestling business for years, time and time again, the amount of time John Cena has been gone hasn't really been that long. The longest amount of time I think John Cena was gone when he was actually had his neck broke, and they put him through serious rehabilitation to get him back in the ring sooner than what he was expected to be back for. It was said that at that point in time, John Cena was going to be gone for a year in 2008, and they put him through hardcore rehabilitation, and he came back by the Royal Rumble in 2008, making a surprise appearance as I think the last entry in the match to win the Royal Rumble match or something like that, either entry 27 through 30, John Cena came out as, and I think he eliminated Triple Triple H to go on to headline WrestleMania 24 in a triple threat match with both Triple H and Randy Orton. It was a great match and a great way of putting John Cena back into the storylines, but he's never been gone for a significant amount of time. So to say John Cena's out for 6 months to a year now, I wouldn't go as far to say that. I'd say anywhere from about 3 to 4 months, and John Cena will be back. At least a quarter of a year. That period of time will allow John Cena to kind of reevaluate himself, figure out what he wants to do in life, and then come back in the wrestling business and probably be better than he's ever been before. John Cena's never been in the better shape of his life than what he is right now. And I think that with everything going on in wrestling right now, with so many incredible new talented wrestlers, John Cena can also elevate them like he's done for so many wrestlers in the past, most recently seeing it with the U.S. Championship Open Challenge for names like Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler, and we could be seeing it for names like Samoa Joe and Tyler Breeze. And by the way, guys, with Samoa Joe making his debut in WWE on Raw and SmackDown coming up over the next couple of months, John Cena versus Samoa Joe is a WrestleMania match for the championship, which I really would love to see because we've never seen matches like John Cena versus Samoa Joe or John Cena versus Sting. John Cena bringing a TNA feel to WWE against names like Samoa Joe would be fucking awesome, and I would love to see that for Cena. So Cena couldn't get back sooner than what I want him to get back, because in my opinion, John Cena can really elevate people like Samoa Joe and people like Sting to unprecedented heights. Although Sting may not need to be elevated to unprecedented heights, it still would be awesome seeing something done with John Cena, Samoa Joe, and Sting, possibly even a three-way match. John Cena and TNA, bringing a TNA feel